Hey, what's up, y'all?
That,
I'm on vacation.
you on location, Hammer Moochie? You on location?
I'm on location. Hey, y'all.
Uh-huh. How you feeling today, my sister? Happy New Year to you.
I'm okay. What's up?
I'm chilling, man, and not to be outdone by anyone. Someone who has more frequent flyer miles than Ric Flair. Someone who damn near got a residence license in the UK, ladies and gentlemen, it's the homie, the big sis, Monique. She's back.
You so crazy. Oh my gosh. What's
And tell the truth, Shane the Devil. You missed this crazy crew, didn't you?
Oh, I missed y'all so much. I missed y'all so much. I was jealous watching y'all's videos. I felt so left out. But I was watching, I was supporting still. So
Yeah,
And
I saw.
we'll appreciate you, man. We saw you that night that we all got together in Wild DC, me,
oh,
Moochie,
Yeah.
and Nita got
that was
together.
so good. That was so good to see. That was so much fun to watch.
And we was happy to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I brought these beautiful ladies up here to talk Best Man final chapters, and boy, do we got a lot to say. Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone I do have a TikTok. Please subscribe. Link is in the channel. I also do have a growing Instagram, so check that out as well. This is what my TikTok looks like. And if you want to take us all on the road, be sure to download the podcast. This week, I'll be back with Jay Moore on Wednesday night. Me and him going to go one-on-one on this channel Wednesday night. And tomorrow, for those of you that know my man Brillo, I'm going to be on his channel. And me and him going to chop it up about some YouTube growth things. So come check us out. So, Mo, we haven't heard your voice in a very long time. Before we go into the nuts and bolts of how we're going to break down this review, just give me your overall thoughts on Best Man Final Chapter.
Okay. Overall, I liked it for the most part.
Okay.
I felt like it was good for the most part. Some things were a little cheesy and corny, there was some storylines that I would have written a little bit differently. But overall, it was great to see them on screen again, especially the first two episodes when they were at Quentin's wedding. That was just the first two episodes really set the tone for the series, and it was good getting them all, the gang, back together again. So overall, I enjoyed it. Overall,
Gotcha. And Hammer, how did you feel about the series overall?
I liked it. I liked it. I liked how it began. I liked the where it was going. I even like even Nikki Parker. What is it? What's Nikki?
Nicole
Parker.
Nicole Ari Parker.
Yeah, I even liked her addition.
Me too.
Added to it, and I thought it was pretty good. Things that finally needed to be said was said in it. As far as with as far as with how the whole marriage thing went with I can't get his name right now.
Harper.
Yeah, with Harper, like that whole thing, I felt like he finally got told what needed to be told to him, and I'm glad the way he did it. It was cool. So.
Oh, you was glad the way he did it? Because I damn
because
sure
he was
glad.
like he was speaking nothing but facts. He said every time you have a choice to make your decision to choose between the right thing or yourself or this or yourself, you always choose what you want. And you don't think about how it affects people. And he's been doing that from when he wrote that first book.
Yeah.
I do agree with that part.
That's the part I'm talking about where he got told. I didn't like the agenda being thrown in there. I'm kind of tired of seeing that. With the alphabet crew, and no offense, but I feel like they're force feeding it down our throats, and I believe we get the drift now. You don't have to keep doing it. With that being said, other than that, I really liked it.
I liked it. I felt like the way they wrote this, they could easily do another series. They could do a series with the young people involved now, the transition from the old crew. You could do something with LJ, with Lance's son. You could do something with Quentin's daughter. You could do something with the other kid involved. I think they could easily turn this into a full-fledged series. And I enjoyed seeing these beautiful black men and women. Okay, when I tell y'all they done found the fountain of youth, them son of a guns found the fountain of youth. They all look great.
Yeah.
Even they aging gracefully. Their acting was on point. And as much as some of y'all gonna be offended, my favorite character in this whole thing was Quentin. I just could not stop laughing at him. Quentin had me about to fall over. And I did enjoy Nicole Ari Parker coming back and basically getting kicked to the curb when he realized that that's not really what he wanted, and he got back with Shelby. So that made me feel good. I never really have an issue with the LGBTQ issues. And I felt like the message that they put in this in terms of LJ was a mirror image of what Magic Johnson probably went through with his son. And, I think that the only gripe I would have about it is I didn't like that they went all the way to, in order to get the dad to understand what his son was feeling, you almost had to have a close life and death type of experience. I would have liked that to have been another way, but I'm fine with it. It did fine. And at the very end, this is what I want to lead in with. And Monique going to get first dibs at this.
Uh-oh.
Everything Moochie said about Harper was right.
Yeah.
But there was one thing Harper allowed to happen that I would never had allowed to happen. And I don't give a damn how well the mama taught her daughter to feed the homeless. That ain't enough to take my ass across the damn pond to Africa, okay? Monique, after we watch this clip, I'm going to give the floor to you. You're going to go first, and I'll go last again. Here we go.
Where she's not othered or made to feel like she has to be some magical Negro in order to succeed in life.
To give you primary custody was because I thought you were living 5 blocks away. This changes everything. I can't support this, Robyn.
And Momo, I can tell you right now, as a dad who is like this with his daughter,
right.
Moochie and Nita seen in person how me and my daughter are, how attached we are at the hip. I mean, it almost seems like when my daughter runs to daddy for everything, more so than mama. Now that mama done left her milk on the airplane, all she do is run to daddy. So I can just tell you right now, Momo, nope. But I want you to have the floor first, and I'm gonna go last.
It's a no for me, dog. Yeah. I wanted to jump through the screen and slap the hell out of her. As selfish as Harper has been, we know he's been selfish, child. We know. But in my humble opinion, this move that she tried to do trumps every single selfish act that Harper has ever done. It trumps it. It completely trumps it. You're trying to tell me because you have a midlife crisis, because you have a damn epiphany all of a sudden, you want to take your ass back to the motherland with my child that we share together to another continent, bitch. You have lost your rabbit ass mind. And when you find your mind, call me. Because that shit was that, when I tell you, it irritated me to my soul, because when we're talking about 2 devoted parents. This isn't a situation where, one parent is primary. These are 2 devoted parents, and the child grew up in the household with both parents. It's bad enough you guys are divorcing. It's bad enough that she has to go through that. You're going to take her to another continent and expect her father to still maintain a certain level of a relationship with his child. Like, to me, like I said, Harper's been selfish since the first Best Man, but what Robyn did trumps, to me, it trumped everything that Harper has ever done. And there's no way I would support that. Ain't no way, because you have a damn midlife crisis. I don't give a shit.
Not only that, Monique, and everything you said, Monique, was eloquently put. You get points for style. You get points for passion. Hell, I believe right now you embody your inner mother. Okay, you get points for all that. But you know something else I thought about, and I'm glad they didn't do before I give it to you, Moochie. I thought they was gonna wind up having that boy daughter in Ghana with Robyn and what was my man named Java Juice? Juice, whatever the hell his breakfast ass name was, Jamba Juice, whatever. Go make me a smoothie. I thought they was gonna wind up having him there, and I'm glad they ain't go that
me
far.
too. It crossed my mind. It crossed my mind.
Yeah. So Moochie, what did you think about the Robyn Harper situation?
The Robyn Harper situation, let me start off by saying I didn't like a lot of stuff Robyn was doing in this series. Let's start with her flirting with that young dude.
Jamba Juice,
or whatever his name is. I know she didn't cheat, but she was entertaining it, y'all. And that's how they made it seem. They had the little innuendos, but she seemed like she was more into him than he was. He seemed like he was just being friendly to her, but she was into him.
I know. She eating and drinking behind the Negro and all
that. It's just like certain like stuff like that. Like I'm looking at like
I think we lost the Mooch. The Mooch is on location somewhere. I think we lost her, but we'll come back to her when she can get her stuff back up here. And I'll send you another invite, Mooch.
Okay.
There you are. We got you.
Yeah, what I was saying is what got me was that last blowout argument they had, and she called him an Uncle Tom, and she didn't like the house and all this other stuff. I understood. That's where we saw the beginning of the end when they moved into that house. So it was like, I don't know. I just didn't like a lot of stuff she did, and then with the ultimate thing was with her taking the kid to Africa. That's too far.
Yeah,
that's too far.
Too far.
But not only
Downer, like Mooch, she was a Debbie Downer the whole freaking show, and I said
I didn't like her. He. It's like once she started getting into the stuff she was getting into, like with the organic and the cooking and the things of that nature, that's when you saw the split with their relationship. Their lives are going in two different directions. Right. So I understood it wouldn't have worked, but you have to compromise with things like that because it's a kid involved. And I guess the way they wanted to show her, he's been selfish this whole time, and that was like her get back.
Yeah.
And she even said it in so many words.
She did.
She said it in so many words, and it was just like, wasn't he with the other girl before her?
What you mean?
Was they always together? He was messing with Nia Long. So it's like, to me, she seemed like she's seen her waiting in the wings too, with them two. She picked up on that too, to me.
Moochie, they never smashed though. You know, from the first Best Man through now, they never smashed. Yes. But you could feel the energy there. But they never done nothing. But you could feel the energy.
Right.
But Robyn, to me, has always felt like the oddball in that whole group. From the first Best Man till now, Robyn has always felt like the oddball in that whole entire group.
You know who I felt like was always the oddball, but now after that whole thing with the holiday, she's in like Flynn.
Shelby.
Not Shelby. The one that
Candace?
Yes, the stripper. They always treat her as an outsider.
They did.
Once that fight happened, things changed.
Yeah. And to go back to Robyn, Robyn was a drag this whole series. I mean, she was just buffering Moochie's point and Monique's point, and it just felt like she just couldn't find inner peace. And by the end of the series, I'm assuming she found her inner peace in Ghana, because she seemed peaceful and happy for the first time. But one thing that I want to know, not just from YouTube, but from the audience, and I'll come back to you on this, Monique. I talked to some women who feel like the way Robyn was behaving has been a stereotype that's been placed on, in particular, Black women. It's been a stereotype. When they get in relationships like that, they become mothers. Maybe their career took a backseat because the man's career was making all the money, or the man's career kind of did more to uplift the unit, so to speak. And sometimes from some of these women I was talking to, they said that some women will get to the point where nothing you can do for them is good enough because they don't have inner peace. What is your take on what was going on with Robyn? Do you think that that's a stereotype you see with some Black women, or do you just think that, it just to each their own?
That's a loaded question, because I feel like no matter what role you are, no matter what gender you are, if you're playing a role where you feel like you're playing backseat, eventually you are going to feel that way, no matter the gender. So I don't know if it's a stereotype. But I do agree that it seemed like she did not have inner peace. And you see, I don't want to be like heartless, because I'm wondering if they're playing on mental health as well with her character, all the self affirmations she was doing and the meditation she was doing. And, she is definitely going through something. And I sympathize to an extent, but she just, because even with the therapy sessions, the therapist had to call her out and say, look, you can't be thinking this way and feeling this way, and you're not expressing it. And it's true, because Harper can't read her mind. But then her argument was, well, when I tell him stuff, he shuts me down. So I don't know. I just know that she got on my nerves. I don't want to be insensitive to what she was going through, because that is real for sure. But she just got on my nerves this whole series. And to be honest, because I rewatched everything this past weekend, Robyn was annoying as hell to me in the Best Man Holiday. She was annoying as hell then. I know she was pregnant, but she was annoying then too. So I'm like, I think this might be a character flaw within her.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said through every iteration of Best Man, she has always seemed like the oddball to me. She's just never been happy. I mean, do y'all remember the very first one?
The first one, I was okay with her. The first one, she was pretty compared to these last two.
Yeah,
the first one
definitely
was a piece of cake in the first one, but Best Man Holiday, she was a grouch. And
And the thing that bothers me about Robyn Moochie, I love the person playing the character. And it bothers me. It bothered my soul to see Sanaa Lathan playing that kind of character when all I see is love and basketball in her eyes, Moochie. That's all I see.
Really?
And I'm suffering this Robyn character. And it bothered me, Moochie. How do you want to round out this whole Robyn Harper thing, and then we'll move on to something else?
How I want to round it out?
It out.
He end up compromising with her and giving in. And I like the way they did that, because then it showed them co-parenting together. But the way she did it was just kind of grimy.
It was very grimy.
It was like she backdoored him. Like she
did.
He was how you say blindsided. So it's just like, I just don't like how sometimes they show the dynamics with Black love, with Black relationships and things of that nature. I know some of it's true, but
to me, it showed. To me, it was a perfect example. When you hear those stories about couples that have been together for 20, 30 years and they divorce, you're like, how do you divorce after 30 years? This is how. I think their relationship was a prime example. Whenever you get put into these roles and you're not always satisfied with these roles, that becomes a problem. Whenever you have old shit and you let it fester and fester and fester and fester and fester, to me, it just reminded me of like, oh, okay, aha, like I see. This is how couples who've been together for 30 years end up divorced. You know what I mean? Because this shit really does happen.
No, I agree. I agree, but the way it is, it just shows you can't. Two people both can't be selfish in a relationship.
True.
It's 50-50. And
But
it's
but
like
that
she was like saying to me, it's my turn to be selfish now. And I get it. I get it. I totally get it, because sometimes a lot of wives play the back and let their husband shine and things of that nature. But I feel like this could have been worked out if she would have just talked about it when he bought the house. I don't want to change it, but like she should have said how it was so much disdain for that house. It was everything that she wanted for her kitchen, but it just was like not where she wanted to be.
And then remember, she changed her mind. I forget what he did. He did something that she liked, and she was like, okay, I'm happy with the house. Like, she changed her mind. So she was unhappy. Then she said she was happy. So I can see on the receiving end how that's confusing to Harper. You know what I mean? When they were in their therapy sessions, because it's like, you so unhappy with the house, but you told me you was cool. It's just, I agree with you though.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And Monique makes a great point when people talk about you've been together 40, 50 years, then you split. Just as much as people grow together, on the course of that growing, sometimes that growth is not in unison. Somebody might be growing in another area that they become passionate about.
Right.
And the other person in the relationship doesn't become passionate about it. And then little things start to crack at that relationship. The person starts spending more time on the new thing he's more passionate about than his spouse. Spouse begins to feel neglected. Spouse starts finding new passion somewhere else, whatever the case may be.
Right.
I just think that in this situation, Robyn was dead wrong for springing up on him in the divorce signing. This man was going to give her most of the custody because he thought he was going to be down the street for her. And then all of a sudden, this is how you know her ass was wrong. She's going to wait and not say nothing until the divorce proceeding. That's how you know somebody's wrong. When they do it like that.
She blindsided him. That's the part I didn't like. I thought that was really grimy.
That was really grimy.
And then on top of that, I'm going to tell you somebody else that was wrong. Every one of his friends that was telling him, just let it go.
Yeah.
It's going to be nasty. It's going to be drawn out in court. And I'm sitting here like, dude, there's two people involved. It ain't just nasty on his end. Think about the person who's initiating the nasty, like she Janet Jackson and shit. Think about that. Are you serious? So I would have been like, look, I'm getting full custody. I will let her come stay with you during the summer when school's out.
Boom.
Other than that, no, you're not getting my kid. We're going to fight this out in court. And if you really want to get nasty about it, how much more resources you got to fight me in court is what I would have said. So if you want to have anything to go forward with this, Robyn, you're going to take her during the summer, but she stays with me, period. That's what would happen. That's what, like I said.
It looks like we have a super chat that you missed.
Oh, okay. Let me go back, my people. Let me go back. I appreciate that. Oh, DeMarcus Vaughn. Happy New Year. What's up, my brother?
Happy New Year, DeMarcus.
Yeah, too.
Then DeMarcus came back again. Happy New Year to everyone. Robyn turned into
she did. Yeah, she did. DeMarcus, that's a good analogy of it, man. Can you please highlight Lenore Wilson's comment at 9:23?
9:23. Leonore, right here.
Lenora, maybe.
I could feel for Harper. He was just trying to provide for his family and set up generational wealth for his wife and daughter. He was just on his grind where, like, look, I want to get this. I want to set us up. I want to have the best for you and things of that nature. And he had his eye on the prize. He wasn't thinking about, he was just thinking about what he could make, how much he could make. Because remember, before this, when it was the best man wedding, remember he was in a slump where he was borrowing money from people.
Yeah, on the holiday.
So it's like now that he got this gravy train, he trying to strike while the iron's hot still. And I don't understand how she couldn't see that.
Well, let me ask you something. When he I will say this though, when he disappeared for however long he disappeared for, that was pretty selfish. You can't just clock out and check out because you got writer's block and like that wasn't cool either. You know what I mean? When he wasn't there for, it looked like a couple months or something like that.
Yeah, it was about a month.
But besides that, was he selfish in this movie?
Yes.
No, besides that, okay.
Yes, he was selfish. I'm not denying that he wasn't selfish. But I just feel like things I feel like if they would have, maybe because he was so selfish, that's why she blindsided him the way she did. But it still was grimy.
Yeah, for sure.
It still was grimy, and to me, it was like a tit for tat thing that sometimes happens in marriages when when shit is going bad.
Yeah,
a therapist would tell you right now, just because someone done you wrong, don't mean you turn around and do them wrong. Right. Because at that point in time, if y'all are trying to act as a unit and someone has been hurt, you kind of gotta come to a compromise that you're going to move on beyond it, and not try to get the other one back. It's not, I'm going to get you back, you're going to get me back. We either going to stay together, work it out, and move beyond it, or we're going to split. That's what it was. And she had made up in her mind, we splitting, and while we splitting, I'm going to just hit you upside the head with a banana peel.
Before we split up.
Right,
I get it. I don't think he was selfish as a husband because he was being a provider, but he was selfish in how he was obtaining his goals. As far as he didn't care who he hurt, he didn't care who it affected, he didn't care whose past was coming back to haunt them.
Right.
He didn't care about none of that. All he thought was dollar signs, and I get it. I totally get it. So you can't say he wasn't being selfish. He was being selfish at one point in time with this whole series. He was being selfish. To me, it's like, he wasn't keeping in contact when he was away like that. Right. It's just like certain stuff. Like, I know you working, I know you on the road or whatever, or you're trying to make things happen, but it just seemed like it wasn't that much communication between them two.
Mm-hmm.